As a result of my last experience, I needed to take a break from tripping and try to figure out and integrate what happened on that day. And it was before this trip that I actually looked up the dosing and I found out why the last experience was so intense and how crazy a dose that was. But I was glad to have gained the new piece of knowledge to add to my journeys. This is where I was really starting to shape the experience to better suit what I wanted out of it. And I had learned by now that these are actually tools to help me expand my consciousness. This trip was going to be with 5 dried grams, chopped up really fine, and put on a peanut butter sandwich with a healthy amount of peanut butter. And it was very rough to eat because the dry mushrooms plus the peanut butter made a very, very dry sandwich. Once I got done with the sandwich, I sat down on my couch with my wife and a music playlist that I had made to get ready for the experience. The first visuals that I got for this experience was this reoccurring visual that I usually get on the come up. It was a wallpaper of these 3-dimensional happy faces, and they're kind of pulsating, and on like behind them is this very subtle lime green electrical grid type atmosphere. And then my wife was curious as to what I was seeing and she wanted me to explain it to her. So at the time, I felt like I was at some sort of cosmic barbecue with 2 other people. At first, it was just me sitting down, and then off to my left, this woman sits in a chair, and off to my right, a man wearing like a big sombrero slid into another chair. They seemed very friendly, and then we were like surrounding this metallic rectangular object with little slats in the top of it, almost like a grill. And to me, the sensation of this felt as though these were actually 2 separate people that were also on a mushroom trip like I am, and that we were coming together and meeting in hyperspace. And the level of communication that I was experiencing with these people was unlike anything I've experienced before. It was almost like it wasn't a language of words, but more like pure understanding. Like they were hearing my thoughts and understanding them with perfect clarity and meaning. And then I was also hearing their thoughts with the same level of clarity and meaning. And it was almost like that was happening instantaneously. And then I decided that I wanted to lay down to experience this trip without so much body load. So when I laid down, I closed my eyes. The visuals that I was having were ideally more intense. What I recall is a fair amount of black space, and then in the middle to start was this morphing mandala surrounded by green Celtic knotwork. And the trip intensified, the morphing got more and more complex, and it was really only interrupted when I needed to take a break and open my eyes. At this time, my wife was also laying in the bed with me, and I had to throw up, but I wasn't really able to do much of anything because the peanut butter was making it pretty much impossible to throw up. I remember looking at my wife's face when I was laying on my side, and it really freaked me out. Her nose started to shift and become longer, and then it was starting to look troll goblin like. And I think it's because usually when I lay on my side and I look at my door, everything becomes smushed like a trapezoid or a parallelogram. And I think it was my vision was doing the same thing because I was laying on my side. But nonetheless, it was still freaking me out because up until that point, I had never seen a face morph and look that way. That's all I can remember from this experience. At the time of me writing this, it was a couple months past the experience, so it was a little bit hard for me to recall all the details.